Hello friends, welcome to G-Centric. So in this lecture we will move on to the next topic, that is power and power factor. Okay, so we have got four types of power. One is active power, which can be called by three other names, that is real power, effective power and true power, which is denoted by P and its unit is watts. Okay, so next one is, so what is the basically the definition of this one? It is the actual power done, okay, or actual work done. Okay, the power consumed to do the actual work is known as true power, or any of these terms you can use it. Okay, so next coming to the reactive power. So basically it is measured in VAR, it is volt ampere reactive, right? Okay, so this is reactive power. So what it is nothing but the generation of the electromagnetic field or magnetic field in the rotating machine. So to understand this concept of reactive power and true power, we will take the example of a tank and a pond, and we will see what do we mean by these two. Okay, so this is actually the actual work done, and this is the one which is made in the rotating electrical or rotating machines, okay, where the magnetic field is produced. So next is the apparent power. So this power is nothing but the combination of the true power and the reactive power. So this apparent power we will see in the power triangle. How does this come? Okay, so its unit is volt ampere. So coming to the complex power, it is also similar to apparent power, but the thing is it will have magnitude and direction both, and for this also the unit measured is volt ampere. Okay, so now coming to the example to understand the true power and the reactive power, first we will see, okay, there is a pond, okay, and we have got a tank, an empty tank. Okay, so in this pond we have got water filled, okay, something like a reservoir, okay, and this has got the ladder. So now your task is that what you have to do, you have a bucket, so your parents ask you to carry this bucket, okay, filled with water and fill into the tank. Okay, so basically what you will do, you will take the bucket, fill with the water, and you will climb up the stairs, then pour the water here in the tank. Now after you pour the water in the from the bucket into the tank, then you will be having empty bucket. So now whatever you have done, this will be seen by some of the people in your area. Okay, they will see and they say that you are doing the work, you are doing some physical work. Okay, so people will see your physical work going. What do? You fill the bucket with the water, then you will climb up the ladder, then you will pour it into the tank. So next, while coming back what you will do, it will be empty. Okay, you will climb down this ladder, you will come down, okay, with an empty bucket. So now the people who haven't seen you before, okay, they see that, they will criticize you. Okay, these people appreciated you, seeing the work you have done, but these people they think that you are just playing with the empty bucket. So but you are also doing the work at that time. Okay, so getting the empty bucket back to the reservoir and filling it again is also a work, but though these people will not see that. Okay, so they think that you are just time pass. Okay, so that's why these people think that they are criticizing you. Okay, so they are criticizing you, they see that no work is done. So now to understand the concept of true power, okay, so whatever the actual work is done, which is denoted in green, it is visible. Okay, that is why we call it as true power. Which whatever work is visible to us, we say that it is the true power or the active power. Okay, whereas the one work that is denoted in red, it is not seen by the people. Okay, so they are criticizing you, but there is some work. Getting empty bucket back and filling it again is also a work. So that power we will call it as reactive power. So this is invisible power. If you take the example of a ceiling fan, then you see that it is rotating, it's a physical work. So that work you can see it, okay, that power is called as active power or true power. Whereas the field, magnetic field that is generated inside the rotor, it is not visible by our eyes. Okay, so that is reactive power. Okay, I hope that this both the concept is clear for you. So this apparent power is nothing but the ratio of these two power. So this complex power is also an apparent power with the magnitude and direction. Okay, so next we will see with the power triangle. Okay, we will see the power triangle, or before that we will see power factor. What do we mean by power factor? Okay, so now to understand the concept of power factor, we will draw a line, the phasor diagram. So this is R. Okay, now this is XL, or basically since it's leading, we will take it as XL. This can be XC also. So this is nothing but we had called it as Z. Okay, so now in this triangle, okay, so this is phi. In this triangle we will multiply I square RMS. Here also we will multiply I square RMS, and here also we will multiply I square RMS. So now this power, what we will call it as true power, denoted by P. Okay, let me write it here. So this is P. Now this XL into I square RMS, it is the reactive power, denoted by Q. Okay, so this I will take it here. So this is Q, and this is nothing but the apparent power, which is denoted by S. Okay, so this is the power triangle that we obtained, and this phi is as it is. Okay, so this is the representation of the power triangle. So from this only we will get the power factor. So we have got different definitions for that also. We will see next. So this magnitude of this S can be denoted by P square plus Q square. Okay, so that is the Pythagoras theorem. Next we will take the tan phi. It is nothing but the imaginary upon or reactive power upon P. So phi is nothing but tan inverse of Q upon P. So this is the power triangle representing true power, reactive power and the apparent power. Okay, so this also can be written as, okay, so now if I have to write the value of P, then I have to take it as, okay, first we will write the power of the, in the normal terms, that is P RMS V I RMS into cos phi. Okay, so for this one Q also we can write it as V RMS I RMS into sin phi. Okay, so now if I want this P, okay, so P is nothing but cos phi is equal to P upon S. Okay, so I can write P as S cos phi also. Okay, S cos phi. Then I can write Q as S sin phi. Okay, so now this cos phi, what it is showing is that this S is the apparent work, that is total work done or the apparent power. So in the total power, how much actual work is done will be defined as the cos phi. This is one terminology of the definition of the power factor. Okay, so here we will write power factor. Okay, so this is the definition of the cos phi, that is nothing but in the total power how much of the actual work is done, it gives the cos phi. So now till now we had seen that phi was the impedance angle, but now it's a power factor angle. Okay, so next we will see different terms when the RL circuit is in series parallel, which all formulas comes for the calculation of the power factor. Okay, so there was one more power that was left out, that is apparent power. Okay, so this apparent power that we had represented in S vector form, right? Okay, so this, how we will represent it basically, it is nothing but the P plus J Q. This is plus or minus. Okay, so we will use plus for inductive load or inductive circuit. Okay, when the inductor is dominant. So minus we will use for capacitive. Okay, if capacitance is dominating, then we will use the minus sign. That is because we get here minus j and here we will get plus j. So that was about the apparent power. Okay, so now we will move on to the different terminologies of the power factor and its definitions. Okay, so if we see the power factor, so we will draw first. Okay, first we will draw the power triangle that we had seen in the last few minutes. This is P, this is reactive power, and this is apparent power, and this is angle phi. So next we will see with R, then XL and impedance. So this becomes the impedance triangle. So we will also see with the admittance. Okay, so here it is conductance, then here either it was BL or BC. Now this is admittance triangle. Okay, so one more, it is nothing but the current and voltage. Okay, so here it is the phi. So now we will define the cos phi for each of them. Okay, cos phi is nothing but base upon hypotenuse. So this cos phi is P upon S. Okay, so here cos phi is R upon Z. Okay, so here cos phi is G upon Y. Now here the cos phi is nothing but the phi is what? It is the angle between V and I. Okay, we have got all these four terminologies for the cos phi. Now this type of this angle or this formula, basically we use it for if the R and C network or RL or RC network is in series. Okay, so we use it if they are in series. Now this formula will be used for parallel. Okay, now this formula we can use it for series or parallel or the combination. Okay, but we have got all the three formulas, we have got one limitation. So that limitation is that these can be applied only for single frequency. Okay, if we have got multiple frequencies, okay, then we cannot apply these formulas for the calculation of the power factor. Coming to this power triangle, the definition of this is P upon S. Okay, so this can be applied for series or parallel or multiple frequencies. Okay, so for all type of calculation of the power factor we can use this formula. So that is the reason in power electronics, okay, most of the time we use this formula. These formulas rarely we will use, basically we will not use at all these formulas. Okay, so this is only for the understanding of the power factor. So now if we take an analog meter, okay, so let us take an analog meter or the power factor meter. So if I draw an analog meter like this, okay, so here is the 0, here is also 0 and here is 1. Okay, so we know that power factor varies between 0 and to 1. Okay, so now this is the divisions in the analog meter. So in digital meter directly we can do it, we can directly get the values. Okay, coming to this analog meter, now this is 0 power factor over this side and we have 0 power factor here and this is the unity power factor. Okay, now these two zeros are there because one will be lagging and the other will be leading. Okay, so now when the circuit will be 0 power factor and when it will be lagging, it is for the inductive circuit. Okay, so for inductive circuit we have got pure inductive circuit. Okay, so here the angle will be 90 degree. Okay, so for the angle of 90 degree, we have got cos phi is equal to cos 90 degree. So value of cos 90 degree is 0. So this 0 will be for the pure inductor circuit and will tell 0 degree lag. Okay. So next for the leading, here what we will see, we have the pure capacitive network. So for the pure capacitive network also we have got minus 90 degree angle. Okay. So now what it will be, cos phi equal to cos of minus 90, which is again 0 degree. So here also we have got 0 degree lead. Okay, the importance of lag and lead is that we will basically define which is inductive and which is capacitive network. Okay, so now for this one, when it is 1, it is pure resistive network. Okay, here if we draw the phasor for inductive, here if it is V, then this is current I. Okay, we will draw it, it will lag, right. So this is lagging by 90 degree and here it is leading by 90 degree. Okay, so this is V and this is I. So for this one, both will be in phase, that is voltage and current will be in phase. Okay, so that is why we will see that cos phi, that is cos 0. Okay, because they do not have any phase angle between them, and cos 0 is 1. So this pure inductive network is for the resistive, pure inductive is for the 0 power factor lag, and pure capacitive is for the 0 degree lead. Okay, now similarly we have got the points decreasing over here, 0.9, 0.8. Okay, it will go on decreasing. Here also same thing, 0.8, 0.7, 6, and it will be decreasing. Okay, from 1 to 0 over the lag side, it will be RL circuit. Similarly, decreasing from 1 to 0 over the lead side, it will be RC network. Okay, so whenever you go from RL 1 to 0 towards the lag network, it will be RL, and from 1 to 0 towards the lead, it will be or the RC network. Now there will be also RLC network here and RLC network here on both the sides, but the thing is, this will be dominating will be inductive and here dominating will be capacitive. Okay, so basically now what we will do, we will take the phasor diagram, this is I and this is V. So this is for resistor and this is 1 power factor or the unity power factor. Okay. Now we have got V and here we have got I. So this is lag, that is for the RL network. If it can be RLC also when inductor is dominating. And here we have V and I, phi is leading. So this will be RC lead network or RLC lead network when capacitor is dominating. Okay, so basically we have to write lag and lead. Otherwise, because of the same values on both the sides of the analog meter, if we do not write lag or lead, then we will not understand which type of network it is. So now this completes the theory part. We will move on to the numericals based on these things. Okay, so in the next lecture we will see the numericals. Thank you.